Hello, y'all. How you doing? It's Divine Sally, your friendly neighborhood self-love coach. How you doing? I was on here to address something that I found very interesting. There's a video by your brutal bestie, I think it's called, about love from the psychological and neurological standpoint. That's cute. That's cute. You want to do it scientifically, but yes, let's do that. So they said love is what you do. No, love is a verb, and you do it, but love is what you are, not just what you do. There are chemical impulses and things like that when you're dealing with relationships with other people, but it's deeper and it's heavier than that in a way that science can't measure, but quantum mechanics can. Quantum mechanics can actually explain the in-between spaces of what love does in looking at the entanglement, in looking at the observational effect. And almost all aspects of quantum mechanics deals with love. If you want to deal with love and understand it and the self-love part of it, I have said this in my videos, and for you too, bestie, you got to look beyond psychology and neuroscience love. You're dealing with the reactions and the chemical reactions of love, but you are not dealing with the spiritual, and you're not dealing with the quantum. And as I said, psychology leaves those out unless you're a consciousness teacher. And you're still kind of leaving it out because science doesn't really have the deeper meaning for what love actually is. Doesn't even understand that to get to love, you must be authentic in self, yet you call authenticity the highest vibration. But it's authenticity that leads you to love, which is a higher vibration than that, because love is all. So if you want to sit up and you want to talk about relationships, bestie, then you can do that and the psychological and scientific effects of that when it leads to that. But I want you to understand that love is way deeper than a relationship with someone, and it begins with a relationship with yourself. And it would be good actually if you could talk about the chemical reactions and the psychology behind when you love self versus when you love someone else, and how that leads to love of all. I would love to see the science and the psychology behind that. What are the chemical reactions when you love yourself versus when you love somebody else? How strong is it? When you measure, what's the baseline? What is the starting baseline that you're at? What are the components? What are the parameters of the experiment that you could put in place to make sure that you measure that? Has that been done yet? Has that been studied? See, when it comes to self-love, it's very hard to put in parameters. Hence why you use the quantum to talk about it. That's why I use the quantum to talk about it. Because you got to look at it from the standpoint of quantum physics and the in-between spaces. Yes, you can define some by psychology, but remember they define the five. If love is all, how can you put it in five categories? You can't. That was quantifiable by man to be able to understand and try to test it. Yeah, but you're not, and you haven't learned yet how to test those in-between spaces where love dwells. So what that's going to do, that's going to make me look up more studies actually on self-love and the science and not the psychology, because I know that part, but the neuroscience behind it, which are only a synapses and impulses measurement, and then the reactions in the outside world of behavior. Remember, neuroscience is mind, brain, and behavior. How you understand it, how you think about it, and then how you do it. That is the parameters of which they're looking for in love. When love is way more than that. Love moves mountains. Whether you believe it or not, it does. Has that been measured yet? Has it been the effects measured of it and why it's so powerful or can be so powerful? Have you measured the effects in the neuroscience of the chakras? Each individual one, what happens when you open and close them in relationship to the meridians, and then how it opens up the whole system within you, and how love can spark that. Has that been studied? And I'm sure it has, but I bet you it's not a newer study. I bet you it's an ancient study. That was already done in India, in Egypt, Africa, and China. You know, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I don't even do that. I use what's already there and I pay attention. The neuroscience may be a new piece, but not if you really look at the old ancient books and how it's explained. It's not. It's not. It's old. The reason why it's new to you is because half of you have not gone to see about it and read it up on it. But if you're a scientific person, you're a cerebral person, dig. Go look at the ancient civilizations. They explained it. My father explained it over 2,000 years ago. That lets you know there's ancient texts. And he went to go study in India and Tibet and these other places who already had an understanding of what it is. So why are we reinventing ideas on what it is when it's already out there and there? It's already in plain sight for you to understand and see and know. All you got to do is dig and read. This information is nothing new, y'all. These people that are acting like they're gurus, they're not. The information is already there. Now, when we come up with new theories and things like that, that's exactly what it is. A theory to be proven. That should make you understand and think something. If even me as a wellness coach and a self-love guide uses science and spirituality as a base, but the proof of it, and I tell you, go research and dig. I don't hide it from you. I don't chastise you for going to do that. No, of course not. Anything is provable. So, if you're going to look for love and the eyes of love and what love really is, you can't just look through the eyes of science, can you? No. You got to look at many different other areas, including metaphysics, metascience, science, parapsychology, and beyond, You got to look historically in historical documents, historical spiritual documents, all type of spiritual texts to get a whole picture, and or you're already endowed to know, and it's already provable in the text. That's why I tell y'all to dig. People, that's why I tell you to discern. A lot of this shit that they're coming up with, and they want to make you believe that it's new and no one's thought of it before. And let me give you the breakdown. This shit ain't new. This shit ain't new. The only part that's new is the neuroscience part, because now we have the wherewithal to test more. But we are still far away in psychology and neuroscience and the rest. We are still far away from getting real answers to a lot of the questions we have. And one of that is love itself, not love in relationships, love in total. Let's talk about that. Not just in relationships. Can't have one healthily if you can't have one with yourself. Duh. So let's start there. Where's the science where it starts there? Makes you wonder, huh? Also makes you wonder why they downplay love so much. And who? Look at the ones who say love is not as important, but yet my father said it was everything. Then why is it not important to them? Why is it something they discredit and don't really like to prove? Because by the time they do, they will understand and will have proven love is all, and it's the basis of everything. That's written in many texts. Love y'all now. Take care. Namaste.